Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stacey West preview show. I'm your host, Jake Tong. We're here for another matchday preview, first home game of the season. We're all excited. And, well, we know who we've got, haven't we? It's little old Fleetwood. So, you know who we've got on the channel, Ben Natman. I told you he was coming on last week. Here he is in the flesh. Ben, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very good, mate. Good to see you. Should be a good game. And you're saying you're looking forward to it. I'm not.
Yeah, I think it pretty much says everything. Before we touch on to the football, you've been on an away day this week. How was that? Because obviously you guys didn't have the playoffs like we did. So how was it to go back to an away game on Tuesday night?
Quite surreal, mate. It was unbelievable. Like, I really enjoyed it. It was great to be back, even though there was not many. It was 178 packed in a 7,000-seater away end in the corner. In the gods, it was great to be back. Poor performance, but just unreal. The coach journey, a couple of pints at a random pub, the smell of a burger van, seeing the home fans. Very good. Loved it, mate.
And this is the one that I really wanted to talk to you about, really. You guys have had your homecoming. You've been home for the first time. You had your first game at home against Portsmouth. We're about to have that feeling again on Saturday, being back in your home. Do you know what I mean? In your home ground. How did that sort of feel? Just sort of pre-game, doing your old routine, like 18 months after you last did it. How was that for you?
We had it friendly, but it didn't feel the same. I just didn't really listen to it. But it was quite special because it was like, this is serious now. We're back to the real thing and back interviewing again, back, speaking to the opposition fans, back in gyms, back behind the goal, back singing, back losing games of football, so nothing's much changed there. Just great overall, mate, and I love being back.
Are you sure about the gym nappers?
Gym's bar, mate, not like the gym. Gym's bar, mate. Anyway, mate. £2 a pound.
Anyway, you're a self-proclaimed League One expert. Your channel looks at League One in general. Before we get onto all matters Fleetwood, is this the toughest League One there's been for quite a while? There's a lot of money being spent. There's probably half the league table, if you're looking at it, that are thinking, right, well, we want to be up this year. Maybe including Lincoln ourselves. So just give us your thoughts on what League One and that, if it's the toughest division it's been for a while.
I agree, Matt. I agree. I think 11 or 12 teams could be there or thereabouts, including yourselves. Lincoln have improved in key areas. Yes, they've lost, Grant, Rogers, Brendan Johnson, but they knew they were going to lose them and they've replaced him with good players. They've not sat back, they've gone again and hit the market. And then you look at your Ipswiches, they've strengthened well up front, defensively still a bit weak. Wednesday've improved, goalkeeper, defence, striker, a couple of midfielders to add possibly. Then you look at your Sunderland, your Portsmouth, your Charltons, they'll still get better. So there's a lot of good sides. I think your promoted sides will go and have a go. Bolton are a fairly big club. Rotherham and Wycombe will want to go straight back up as well. So there's a lot of good teams up there. And I think it's going to be very, very tight. I think there could be where there was a situation a few years ago where 12 teams could have gone down. And I think you were in League Two at the time with 6 games to go. That's never happened before. That could be the same with going up this year.
Yeah. And I know you've done a 1 to 24, so I will put that video in the description for them to have a look at. A very controversial place on Lincoln City, may I add. But if I had to push you for 3 teams to get promoted this year out of League One, who would you say now, based on the fact that you've seen them all on opening day as well?
Yeah, I went with Ipswich and Wycombe on as the top 2. Wycombe definitely has not changed. Ipswich, I'm still a bit wary of them. I don't think they've improved like I thought they would defensively, but I think they'll get the job done. And then the playoffs, I had, Rotherham in there, Wednesday in there. I had Sunderland in there as well. I don't think Sunderland will go up. I think Rotherham could do it again. I know they've got a small squad. They've not really strengthened as well as they would have liked, but they've still got Lepardo and Michael Smith who'll get 30 goals between them, in my opinion, this year. So if they can add a bit more, I think they'll be okay. But, Rotherham for the playoffs, in my opinion, and Ipswich and Wycombe for the top 2.
And then let's switch it to Fleetwood then. Hopes for 21-22. I think I've put you quite low down in my early season predictions, just about staying up. Is that all Fleetwood can really hope for this season? Just staying up?
Still being a club. With the pandemic, we've really struggled, and I mean really struggled. I worry for us. I'm not going to lie. I think you'll have to look at. I think we're a bit like Scunthorpe. Scunthorpe had a go. Couple of playoff finishes didn't go so well, and look at them now, really falling in League Two and kind of maybe going back to the non-league. And do I think that will happen with Fleetwood? I don't think so. We've got some very good young players coming through. You know, your Jamie Tetes, your Shaden Morrises, your Jed Garners, and then just behind that you got your Barry Bagleys, those types of players. Josh Feeney's just left the club, 15, 16 years of age, gone to Villa for nearly £500,000. Plays for England under 17. So there's a lot of good money coming back into the football club to hopefully make us sustainable. But if we can stay up this year, kick on next year, improve, I'll be happy.
Lovely. And I'm going to talk about your recruitment now. Obviously, there's one name that I think you'll know that I'm going to talk about most with his connections due to Lincoln City. Callum Morton signing for the Cod Army on a season on loan from West Brom. We had a bit of a patchy Callum Morton. He had high expectations for him. Do you think that season at Lincoln has sort of dampened you guys' expectation on Morton?
A bit, because we were in with him as well, and he came back off a good spell with Northampton. He didn't score many, but he was very good in the final, which I think raised his profile probably twice as much and probably gave him the stock. I don't think he was quite ready for League One last year. I think that experience last year might have done him the world of good. But yeah, like I say, he's still a very good player. He's looked a handful. Do I think he'll score 10, 15 goals? Probably not. But will he score 5, 6, 7s? Possibly. And will that be enough to keep us up? Not on its own, but if you can get the Jed Garners, the Callum Camps, the Ryan Edmondsons, the Shaden Morrison scoring around about that mark, it will be just around okay.
Seem to think he scored against Fleetwood last season, didn't he, Callum Morton?
Yeah, wasn't that in a defeat as well?
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Other recruitment then, other signings that we should know about. Tell us who Fleetwood managed to put pen to paper with over the summer.
Max Clark, good left back. Hull City, connections abroad as well. Like him a lot. Good wing back. Brad Halliday, a steady right back at League One. We struggled with right backs in the last 4 years. Really. We had Louis Coyle on loan for 2.5 years. Signed him permanently. He left after 6 months to go to Hull. Then we had Tom Edwards on loan. He left. We had Wes Burns playing there. He's left. So we finally replaced him with a permanent right back and a proper right back, which I like. We signed Ryan Edmondson on loan from Leeds. Nice little bit of business. Got some good midfielders still at the club as well. So business all around. Tom Clark came into the football club, a bit of experience at the back as well. So the business hasn't been the best, if I'm honest with you, but it's been steady and it's added experience and a little bit of quality to a poor side.
And one man that I know you rate very highly, young lad that plays on the wing for you, as you guys seem to sing, Shaden Morris. Tell me a little bit about him and what you're expecting from him this year.
Yeah, young. Do I think he's ready? I think absolutely. I think maybe he's not the best he could be. I think maybe 6 more months, 12 more months, but he's young, he's hungry, he's got something to prove. He takes on players, and that's what I like. And that's what you need in a struggling side. And we don't have enough players like him. He's literally our bright light, mate. And without him, we've got no creativity. He was brilliant against Portsmouth. Second half, they sussed him out. Black, the lights go out. And that's where we struggle. And he's a very good player, but he needs support. Jamie Tete, also coming from the youth team in midfield, was outstanding on Tuesday. There was 2 good things from the other night. Jamie Tete and the final whistle going. So that shows you a lot about the game. So if those 2 can perform, get good fees on and sell them on, great for the football club.
I know you've touched on it there. The game against Pompey on Saturday last week, a 1-0 home defeat. Not an ideal start to the season. Just talk us through that game and where it ultimately went wrong for Fleetwood and how come you ended up losing rather than picking up a point. Because I seem to remember from watching your video, you made quite a few chances in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. We created a lot of good chances. Callum Morton misses from a couple of yards out. Sure. Harrison Biggins misses a header from a free range, and a couple of good saves by Alex Bass. Again, we've been so accustomed to seeing Paddy Madden and Ched Evans, and it's just like boom 1-0, boom 2-0, Portsmouth out of sight. We won the game, comfortably. And then Portsmouth suck a blow. Terrible defending, may I add. How Lee Brown's feet free in the box with 3-4 yards of space. I know there's a slip by the Portsmouth player that puts off our defenders, but there's no excusing. It's a good hit, good strike. And that's what good sides will do to you. And if we give you time and space on Saturday, you will finish, you will score goals, and that's where we'll struggle. And we just look out. Well, what do we do when we go 1-0 down? We need the first goal. Then we'll sit back. You'll try and hit us on the counter and we'll defend it. So that's our game plan at the minute, mate. And Portsmouth sussed it out to a T, and fair play Danny Cowley and Portsmouth. They weren't at their best, but they'll get better and probably go and win many football matches this year where we won't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Danny Cowley team doing pretty well. In sort of team news, then, are we sort of expecting similar lineups? Are there any rumours of new faces coming into the building over the next sort of 24 hours? I know we're recording this Thursday night, so it's unlikely, but are Fleetwood close to sort of signing any players, or any players sort of coming back from injury?
The only one, mate, is Joe Garner, who's been close for a while now. Looking likely that he will join, but now I say that he'll probably on time for Morecambe or Blackpool or something. Hopefully he comes. He's had a torrid time away from the United Kingdom, not being paid, and going from that, and Wigan as well. He just needs a home again. He just needs to score goals. So hopefully he can come and join me, because we need it. Other than that, I'll be doubtful that Fleet will bring anyone in if it's other than it's a loan deal. We're in an embargo. We can't pay over a certain amount of wages. We can only have a certain amount of players in our squad. So it'd be a 1 in, 1 out system. So let's see, mate.
Sounds similar to what Gillingham have been going through. I spoke to Matt last week. And they seem to be going under something quite similar as well. But let's switch your attention then to Saturday, the big one, the biggest game in League One of the weekend, obviously, because it's our teams playing. How are we expecting this to go then? With your League One head on, how are we expecting this? As somebody who knows his stuff, how are we expecting it to go?
A comfortable home win, but I think this is probably the best time to play. I don't think you're in your full groove. You've not got your full selection of players. You still need time to gel. And Michael Appleton's team was kind of, yes, I know you had a slow patch in the middle of the season last year, but you got better the last 6-8 games. I would be more worried playing in, say, a month's time when you've hit your form, you're starting to win games of football, and you're trying, if you come back off a loss, you want to pick that right. But I'm glad to play you now. I think we've got something to prove. That I think that late own goal might have done Fleetwood a favour the other day, giving us a little bit of confidence that we can score goals, literally the last kick of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw, but I wouldn't be surprised if you beat us as well. If we beat you, I'd be very surprised.
Any Lincoln players on your radar of ones that you're sort of getting a bit nervous about, even though you mentioned the high sort of turnover of players that we've had? Are there any players that sort of stand out for you?
Yeah, you've got a lot of good players. Aduni obviously scored the other day. You've still got, Regan Poole, very consistent player. You've got a lot of new signings coming. Your Hakeem Delikins and El Dudu, I think he said he's not playing at the weekend. So you still got a lot of quality. You still got, little old Tom Hopper. So, you got a great squad, consistent, very good for League One, know how to get out of it. And I like you a lot. I like Lincoln a lot. I think the fans are superb. I like the team. I like the manager, and they've got a good core. And like I say, if you look at the Euros, France were the best team, but Italy were probably the 6th or 7th best team. But they had the best. They had the best kind of tactics. They had the best system. They were hard to beat, and that reminds me of Lincoln. And if Lincoln can do what Italy did, they'll do something special this year.
And you're a fan of Mr. Appleton, I take it?
Absolutely, and I think he's done a fantastic job. And I remember a lot of Lincoln fans, the results weren't quite going his way at first. And, you got a couple of good wins over Ipswich, I think, on around Christmas in his first year where he beat him 5-3.
Yeah.
That was probably that result probably kept him in a job, if I'm honest with you. It just shows you patient, whereas obviously in the Brentford model, the only one won the first 10 with Thomas Frank. Look at now in the Premier League. It takes time. You've had disappointment in the playoff. If you keep Michael Appleton and you keep bringing these loan gems in and replacing them, because that's what Fleetwood did very well. We brought Lewis Gibson, Stuart Connor. That's how we got to the playoffs with it. If you keep bringing these loan signings in, Lincoln will be a championship club in the next 3 years.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Thanks, Ben, for coming on. I know you'll probably have a couple of things to plug. So this is your opportunity to tell our listeners where we can find you and what sort of stuff you do.
I do all League One content, Jake. Like I say, I talk about the Imps on a regular basis. Good, kind of win, draw or lose, good or bad. And mostly good about the Imps. And it's all over on CODS Vlogs, CODS, Vlogs, VLOGS. If you want to give it a subscription, all League One based, and there'll be a vlog there with Saturday, and it will be in it and giving his predicting an Imps winner, I presume.
Probably, yeah. If you don't know who this man is after watching about 5 matchday lives last season, you need to give your head a serious wobble. This man is famous in Lincoln. Anyway, Ben, thank you very much for coming on. Massively appreciated. Looking forward to meeting you on Saturday, having a beer. Thank you everybody else for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, all that usual jazz. New to this, so we're getting there. But thank you everybody else for watching, and hopefully another win on Saturday. Thank you very much.